Yo, a bit of a quick disclaimer before we get into this video here today. Turns to my camera does cut out about 60 minutes into this video. Also, I recorded the video on Monday and it's now Sunday, so much has happened since I dropped that video. I'm sure it's going to happen to every single video that I do over the next few weeks or so, because we are moving at such a fast rate. So much things are going on right now in the world. It is absolutely crazy. But yeah, it's kind of my opinion on everything. I just want to say, obviously, I do massively support, obviously, the Black Lives Matter movement. Um, I feel like in the video I probably do over critique it slightly. So it probably does seem like I'm leaning the other way. But it's just because I want it to be as successful as it can be, and I know for it to kind of project massively, kind of onto a bigger audience. Obviously, it's hitting quite well, but obviously, you got to bring in this country as 65 million people, and to get it to the point where it's going to affect the majority of these people, and it's something they can understand as well. I feel like it just needs to be critiqued a bit, but I believe that it will be really strong. I just want to kind of put it in there. I know it seems like I'm a bit negative towards it, but I do really support it. I don't want to be kind of at protests and stuff. I've got a lot to say, and that's one thing you're going to realise in this video. Even though it is 40 minutes, like, I don't even explain all my points like fully because I've just got so much on my mind. Like, I kind of skip over stuff sometimes, but obviously I want you guys kind of raw and unedited, and from here we can have further conversations, deeper conversations. I'll speak with different people, and we're just gonna, yeah, kind of get it rocking. The video I'm looking to jump after this probably will be about the lockdown, because I think that has also affected a lot of people. And yeah, I've got some takes on that and some opinions, and you see some wild stuff. I mean, literally last night, saw some illegal rapes and stuff, man. So no, it's crazy, and obviously all these protests as well, which I kind of get into in this video as well. But man, next few weeks on the channel, we're going to be live, direct, maybe slightly controversial, but I'm just going to try and give you guys my honest opinion on things and kind of what I think the solutions are. But yeah, if you guys want to stick around, make sure if you guys do take some away from this video, just let me know. I just want to kind of as many opinions as possible on what you think, or what you feel like you've learned, or what you feel like could be done better, and I will take into consideration. Okay, but thanks, and see ya. Yo, what is up, guys? It is your boy Lynn, and Brian's a brand new video here today. And as you can tell, there's no kind of singing or rapping intro, there's no funny skit. We'll get right into this. It's going to be something quite serious here today. But yeah, I just want to have a kind of bigger conversation. I see a lot of talk going on right now. A lot of it, man, is just, oh my god, social media has been driving me crazy over the past week. Sometimes crazy of outrage, sometimes it's just head palm moments. There's kind of a lot going on. I just kind of want to look to decode it and kind of talk to it from my experience. Obviously, I know in terms of myself, obviously I'm always still learning, I'm still young. There's a lot kind of deep rooted into what's going on right now, and over time I'm going to learn more. And if you guys kind of spot anything I say and you don't kind of like it, or you kind of disagree on what I say, then I do encourage you guys to come to my DMs, have a conversation, try and even educate me. I'm obviously happy to listen to what you guys want to say, and obviously I want to kind of get this message better and be able to improve it. So maybe in a few weeks' time, look at this again. Maybe I'll have a look, and maybe you guys would change some of my views on things. That's kind of give my opinion, kind of an unbiased opinion, kind of where I am now as a person. Kind of just what's going on, and kind of what I think the bigger picture is at the moment. So obviously, the main picture has been kind of blown up all over your feed. It's very unlikely you don't know what's going on with the world right now. Let's just get into it. It's going to be me kind of more talking about what I think is going to happen in terms with the UK and the way we kind of make things better. Just before we get into it, I just want to obviously advise that I am currently drinking today, and the reason why, it is a Monday when I'm recording this, but man, the world's just been a bit like crazy. It's just been a bit like, honestly, a bit depressing this week. Like, just so much stuff has been going on, and so many things going around my head about it, and honestly, for me to make a video like this is a bit surreal. It's not surreal, but like a year ago, I'd never caught me making a video like this in my life, because I am literally, and I'm kind of sad and not sad to admit it, like I'm a very self-centered, self-focused person. So I want to drive towards my dreams, my goal, my aspirations. I want to kind of, like, it's Lyndon's channel at the end of the day. It should be about me. Like, obviously, like, no one has to control the kind of content I dictate. And in terms of things like racism, I'd say that obviously words obviously are meant to sting, but like they never have stung me, and I will get into that in a bit more. And I'm so kind of tunnel vision, and I've always wanted to kind of drive. So something like this never really came to mind. kind of make a video on this scale, on this kind of topic. But like I said in the last video, we're all looking to make kind of more serious videos. We look at kind of real life topics and how it kind of affects everyone in the community, and that's what I want to do. Let's get into it. Obviously, I just want to let you know, this video is not sponsored, but you know what? On that juicy rosé. So, just like, yeah, I'm going to kick back and have a few bit of tiffle, get a bit parched, and just have a discussion with you guys. So obviously, I just want to first off start off by saying kind of it's really kind of sad because it's kind of happened, not even over the last few weeks, kind of what's happened with a kind of couple of decades in America. America, it's just been all a bit just like it's hard to even describe. Obviously, I'm sure you lot at this point have all seen the video of George Floyd. Like, that is just messed up, like next level. Like, the idea that someone's just so comfortable doing that in front of a camera just shows there's no fear, and they know they have backing the people that are behind them, and it's very disgusting. And like I say, hopefully, well, we started to see they are starting to kind of bring justice to him. Obviously, the officer's charges have been upgraded from third to second murder, and obviously habilitating second murder for the people that are behind. And also they're thinking about, which I think is a great step, and hopefully it does come to fruition. They are starting to take the first step and looking at abolishing the Minneapolis Police Department and doing something more community-led, which I think would be really great. And especially, I think, kind of trust in the police over there has gone to all-time low. Like I said, I'm not really here kind of talk massively on America, but obviously I do want to touch on a few things. So to make sure, obviously, all the people that kind of suffered, like George Floyd, there's a lot of them. I want you to, obviously, it's important, obviously, to remember them. We need to remember what they died for, and realise that this has to be the generation where things change. I'm going to say about this in terms of the UK and the US. We really need to make a change, man, because the fact that these kind of things, and like a lot of them, you feel like it is kind of racially kind of aggravated. It's actually like crazy to think about. And yeah, no, definitely. And I think if I was thinking about someone to go on holiday now, I'd think America, man, like that's just a scary place to walk, especially in some states, just for the colour of your skin, and that's just wrong in this society. The other thing I kind of speak about in America is I think the judicial system is very wrong over there. Some of the kind of sentences, like they say, oh, they believe in reform, and then they'll give a black boy who does something wrong, like 45 years. Like, what's the point of reform? You know, 45 years, one some of the worst prison systems in America, is not going to make someone that wants to, like, they're either going to lose their life in jail, or they're going to give their life to jail and end up probably just doing something that puts them behind bars for life. And very easily, it's like, it's pretty much like taking away a life, to be honest. It's pretty brutal. And yeah, no, just ridiculous amount of unjustified kind of things over there. I remember watching something on a guy, Brian Banks. His story is on Netflix. I remember that inspired me. And it was basically he caught a charge at 15 of rape, and basically like he had to go to prison. And then when he came out of prison, he was on probation. And this guy was a guy who was trying to become a footballer. He was on course with the next best thing, and suddenly gets hit with this accusation. And suddenly, like, no one trusted him. He's in prison, and he knows all this time he's innocent. And it's mad that it took him 11 years from first catching that case to be proven innocent, man. Like, stuff like that, like, it seems mad people kind of disconnect it, and like, I know it's something that kind of makes kind of those movies, like I see people watch stuff like Top Boy and Blue Story, and they think that these kind of mad stories don't exist. It's just kind of there for a fantasy. You have to realise in the real world, these stuff really do happen. And no, it just really does bring a twitch out of me, because like honestly, like my people, like watching these videos on Twitter, some of them I've seen this week, it just hurts, like nothing you can really describe. It really does hurt, just hearing some of the things that I viewed. But obviously, like I said, I want to get into England, because in England, a lot of things happening right now. Take a quick drink. Yeah, so in England, it's all seems to be kicking off this weekend. Obviously, first thing I want to say, the people who are currently going out for Black Lives Matter, honestly, I want to kind of big you guys up and applaud you, obviously, for standing up for people like myself, people, I don't like saying people of colour, like obviously blacks, and I think it's not really just like obviously the black public community. I think kind of the work you're doing, the kind of passion you're showing is going to help other communities as well that obviously get kind of a lot of tarnish, kind of Asian communities, kind of Eastern Europeans, and like a lot of Africans. It's going to help just a whole bunch of people, kind of where I see people kind of banding, coming together and kind of standing up for what he was right. And obviously it is right. Like, I'm not, just a bit of a shock horror, but I do stand with Black Lives Matter. I'm not going to say I'm not. But where I may go with this conversation, may go against what you think Black Lives stands for, but I want you to know I am on this side, but I do want to present a kind of a balanced argument in terms of what is going on at the moment. So in terms of what's going on at the moment, obviously we're seeing a lot of kind of protests, and we haven't seen too much rioting in the UK, but obviously there has been incidents. We've seen the statue kind of get thrown off a bridge, and we've seen kind of vandalism of war memorials. So I don't want to get into that. First thing I realised is really, and it's something for me to approach, if kind of, the thing I find hard with Black Lives Matter, and it's not that I find it hard, it's just that I wish it was more clear to everyone, because there's been so much things like, what is Black Lives Matter, why Black Lives Matter more than any other race, or any other lives, sorry, and there's been a lot of things like what they go aiming towards, like, so just to kind of give you guys a bit of background context around me, I'm still in a town of Burton-on-Trent, and it's about to say it's a majority white town, if I'm being honest. Like, a lot of my friends are white. I was the only black kid in my year. So in terms of kind of growing up around, obviously I've still got black family, black community members, but a lot of the things I've done around, I was kind of the only black kid in the football team. I've been the only black kid in my school. My social group, a large majority of them are white. Obviously, I do have kind of people who I obviously could kind of hang around with and see as well, who are black, but I'd say a lot of them, I do come from a majority kind of white sort of background. And obviously, what that kind of allows me to view, is I kind of like to see kind of all sort of angles. So on Twitter, I feel like I finally started to kind of get in kind of the black side. I kind of wanted to know kind of the culture, what's going on with people our age, and I'm starting to follow a lot more accounts. I'm starting to see people from like personalities I follow in like London and Manchester and all over the place, and just kind of seeing kind of what's kind of up, and I don't know, just kind of what the vibe is, just based off kind of the content I'm enjoying right now. So I'm kind of starting seeing that side. I see, obviously I can hang around in pubs, and in pubs you get kind of a lot of people. People respect the people in the pubs, and kind of the football drinkers, they're always like the closet racists. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Obviously there's going to be the odd people that do live up to that stereotype, but a lot of people where I've been in, they've been quite accepting of me, and I've kind of fit in, and I've become kind of a valuable member of that kind of society, if you like. And I enjoy, like, honestly, like, I enjoy a lot of things. Like, I enjoy going to the football, and I see my local club and I'll be in, hopefully, championship soon land. Hopefully one day, I don't know when. But yeah, it's not been too bad. I want to go back to the kind of topic then. But yeah, obviously a lot of things are happening, and a lot of kind of people have become divided in terms of what they think about all this. And obviously, not all people are arguing and thinking, oh, no, we're actually racist, actually, no, we hate them. Like, no one's really going to come out and say that, and that's not the arguments being had. It's more, here's the way they're going about it, a bit disrespectful, in terms of what's going on with COVID, having people potentially breaking social distancing. And obviously, I'm not going to lie, there has been videos where you could very easily argue that they are breaking social distancing to do this. And also, kind of vandalising the war memorials. So in terms of the first thing, I just want to say I don't really agree with the ideas of vandalising war memorials. I think in order to, instead, I obviously agree that we should be pushing our point, but I don't think it should be to the detriment of kind of British history. Obviously, I think when I've kind of flipped that, like obviously in terms of the slave owner, I would say that, yeah, that was right, like that. They said there's been petitions that's got out before, and obviously they finally took it by force, and yes, that's correct. But in terms of kind of British history, I can see why people get annoyed by stuff like Winston Churchill and stuff like that, because obviously he has saved his country effectively. Has kept this kind of this country that's obviously means a lot to people. Has kept it multicultural because he was the person who was kind of instrumental in stopping us kind of going towards the Germans. Obviously, about Hitler in charge at the time. So yeah, no, of course he's a big war hero, and obviously we learn about him. But obviously, in terms of obviously what's going on kind of around these times, obviously I do understand. Obviously, we all know, I do understand obviously that he was known to be quite racist and quite just a lot of things that are negative around that man. But we do need to keep in mind that a lot of people do highlight him as a war hero, and we can't just burn down kind of the people who have kind of given back to Britain just to push kind of what we have going on. Like I say though, that's not really the most important thing to me. In terms of what's going on with this, the most important thing to work out is what we are going to do to really take our thing to the next level. Because I think at the moment we are kind of attracting people to our side, and you're doing it in a very great way, very bold way. Protests peaceful, and they've been quality to watch, and they definitely kind of draw out a lot of emotion from myself. But I think to kind of on a large scale, it is going to take kind of. It's kind of almost how people go into like political things. It's going to have to be like, you have to draw clear points, clear kind of, we're going to need some kind of strategy. Because I feel like the one kind of main sort of flaw that's coming from BLM is that like, obviously we first did our first one, it suddenly kind of solidarity to George Floyd and all the others that kind of lost their lives. But what we need to actually look at now is how can we change what has gone wrong in the UK? How do we change kind of what happens when people are going for jobs and like they're getting turned around and people feel like it's because they're black? And like I say, no, in a lot of cases that is the case. Like you just can't deny it. Like it does happen. Just don't act like it doesn't happen. It's been happening, and people getting turned away from clubs because they're not wanting a certain amount of black people in the club. Like that is very true, and a lot of people can attest to that. And there's a lot of things in schools, like black people can't have certain type of hairstyles. It's like being treated as kind of gangs and stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff happens in schools, and like, but it's how we get it across. Because one thing that I think that is very important to realise is that people may be supporting you, but especially when people feel like things are going their way and not being communicated to, it is starting to go the other way. I'm starting to see people share stuff where it really goes directly against the message, and although not every person shares that, may be wanting to kind of show kind of race side towards it, I think if it was to carry on and it was drag out a period of over 6 months, a year, then I think we could really start to see a nasty side to this war. And to be honest, we didn't go into it being a war, so we don't need it to escalate to being a war, in my opinion. Some people will disagree with me that and sort of think, it's like do we die if we get the people that want to be on board. But in my opinion, we all still have to live in this country. We can't just abandon, we can't just jump ship. Going off, leaving this country and living in Africa, to me, isn't an option. If you want to do that, and that's kind of what you kind of think, I just want to make my money, now I leave. And there are a lot of people, obviously from not even black people, a lot of people do think, just make my money in England and do it. But that's not me. It's the country I've been born in. Born in 1999. I spent 21 years of my life here, and I'm not planning to leave. And I think there's no reason for us to kind of feel at the point where we need to leave, but we need to learn to work we need to learn to work in harmony, and we need to learn to be kind of inclusive. And you might think, wow, like this has been going on way longer than you've been alive, and what are you on about? But like, to me, we have way more things in common as the average British citizen than we do that kind of divides us. Like, there's a few features that divide us. I don't know, race, religion, social class,
Like, there's very few things, those kind of categories that divide us, but there's a lot more things that bring us together as a society that we can celebrate. Just think, I want you to think back to the 2018 World Cup. Sunny days in England, England performing well, England gets semi-final. Every round England went through, it was a party on the streets of England. And it didn't matter where you came from, it didn't matter who you are. When England scored, when England won, this place went mental. I want you to think kind of the happiness people get from watching things like the Premier League, kind of all the kind of sports stars we have. You think of when Ange Joshua wins a boxing world title. I want you to think when Mo Farah wins a race. I want you to think when Lewis Hamilton wins his championships. I want you to think about how proud it makes you to be British. And at those moments, it doesn't matter about the colour of your skin or anything to do with you. We are united as a country, and you have to realise kind of who we are and the kind of spirit of the British people. Like, it is something where a lot of countries wish that we could be kind of as united as us in those moments, because when we're in those moments we are very patriotic and we love where we come from, but we need to have more of that. We need to have more of these kind of communities when you kind of go to like a Glastonbury, or you go to a big stage and you're watching your artists perform and tear things down, because I just think honestly, my kind of solution is a lot of things. I've not really seen anyone offer a solution which I think is quite poor. Cause I think especially with the amount of kind of big and influential people we have out there, and a lot of kind of university educated people who have like masters and stuff, the fact that no one's offered kind of a solution, a way to go forward, and the people are just accepting it's going to be this long battle, I don't think personally that's the right option. We need to be looking to and I think the reason why people are doing this is because it's going to take a lot of work to do, but I believe in this generation we have the right people, the right characters, the right tools. We can pull Twitter together, we can pull kind of our Twitter pull, our Facebook pull, our Instagram pull, our YouTube pull. We can pull so many people together on this platform, and I believe if the right conversations and the right unionizations start to happen, we can change Britain to be for the better. One thing I want to talk about, you might think, oh, but all these people out here, people who are inherently born wrong. Look at people like Katie Hopkins, look at people like Tommy Robinson that are just kind of pulling this right-wing stuff and taking people and turning them against kind of the British way of life. And what I would say to that is, obviously in terms of people like them, it's gone too far. We're not going to be able to control people like them. But we need to stop the next generation from following them. And what I mean by that is what we saw kind of a few weeks ago back on Twitter was we were seeing, it feels like a few weeks ago, but 2020 has been mad. It's been, every week feels like a month. But literally what we were seeing kind of 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds being called out on doing racist things or showing racist racial prejudice. And they were getting called out, and they were, rightfully so, like their schools were being called up, and they were obviously being taking a lot of they were taking a lot of things online, and they were basically being cancelled and kind of eradicated from society. And one of the things we need to kind of look at, which I think, in the short term is great, but what someone needs to do to try and bring these things back around the corner is we need to realise that, it's, of course, we're angry at you and we're not happy that you've said the things that you've said, but there's a way for you back in and you can prove your worth. And I mean that they need to, if we're going to bring these people back in, they need to prove their worth. They need to do something that benefits our society. The society as a whole, not even just black societies, because obviously I know a lot of things going on, like Ange Joshua, and that I can get into that, and there's just so much things to discuss, honestly. But what I think needs to happen is after they're at the bottom, people still need to reach out to those people, people from black and people of colour. We still need to reach out, and we need to show them that, yes, you're wrong, yes, we're hurt, but we need to show you why we are why we want to work together, why we want you as part of the society, because the last thing we need is these people to be cancelled, and they get cancelled a couple of times and come back a bit stronger. Because one thing you need to realise about cancel culture, it does not last forever. When I say this, you might think, oh no, we've got these people out here for good. But yeah, you can probably name about 20 people you cancelled in 2020. Probably more, like it's literally every day I see someone get cancelled. But name 20 people that got cancelled in 2019. Okay, now name 20 people that got cancelled in 2018. Now name 20 people who got cancelled in 2017. If you can do that, fair play. But what happens a lot of the time is that they will get accepted back anyway, and they will gain their following back. And people think, oh no, we got them out here for good, they're done out here, they're never coming back. That is not the case. That is not the case. And what happens when they come back is as bad as it is, people will feel sorry for them. People think their point's not that bad. And let's be honest, you follow a celebrity who's been cancelled so much and told they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. A part of them makes you think, wow, they're standing up for something else that doesn't really get talked about. I'm going to follow them. And that's why you have people like Tommy Robinson, Hitty Hopkins, who now have hundreds of thousands of followers, and they aren't going to leave them because us as a society tried to kick them out so many times and told them they're not relevant, and they're still here, and we still talk about them. So people think there must be a point why they keep coming back. So we need to cut that out. We need to stop these 16, 17-year-olds coming back with power in society. And obviously we know kind of the things that can happen when you have a better colour, when you have kind of what the people say is the superior race and the better colour of skin. We know kind of the advantages it can hold, and especially I see stuff in America where like people get called out and they were on road to become a lawyer, or they were on road to become a politician, like, or a policeman. Like, we know that these people can get in positions of power, so you need to talk to them, you need to stop it. Because if you don't kind of get your arm around them and be like, this is the real side, you can still exist in this society, you just got to respect us. If we don't do that, then they become the next time up, and they become the next K-hop, they become the next problems that face ourselves. And obviously, once we start doing things like this, we start intervening, we're going to see the effects of it, I believe. And like a lot of people have been stressing already, we need to kind of stop nitpick things in the bud. We can't allow people are kind of having racial jokes or kind of things they find banterful. And basically, I say, when I grew up in the Midlands, obviously being in a black clinic school, I experienced a lot of these jokes. And I experienced so much of those jokes is that I kind of just writ it off. I was kind of like a bit redundant. I remember seeing a video one day, and it was like, if someone has to refer to the colour of your skin to win an argument against you, it shows way more about them than it does about you. And honestly, it's something where it's so true. Like, so, yeah, you want to say I'm not smart. You want to say I don't look good enough. If you want to say that. If you want to say, oh, you make dumb decisions, oh, we can't trust you, that's fine. But the moment you go, oh yeah, you're just done, M-word, it's done. Like, I'm not taking your opinion seriously, it's done. I'll just leave the conversation right there, because I feel like I've already won if you've had to go to the colour of my skin. Because regardless of whatever happens, I don't feel like I'll ever need to attack someone for the colour of their skin. I'll only ever use kind of things that I feel like actually should be kind of valued and looked at. So yeah, no, and no, I do definitely understand, and I've definitely seen so kind of things where when I was younger, stuff that I used to let go because it wasn't things that affected me. I've seen kind of same jokes. I've seen obviously you get people back in the day like KSI, he promoted kind of a lot of things. He made a lot of jokes about himself and kind of us as people, and it definitely took off. I'm saying it definitely took off. There was definitely a lot of imitations, and I used to just let it go. I was like, yeah, you know what? At some point, I thought, yeah, it's a bit funny. Like, I won't lie to you. But like, I've seen the same jokes try and fly in that office, and some guy, or try and fly in the classroom, or try and fly a social event with someone else, try and fly with another black person who doesn't take that thing lightly, and it's literally a point where they want to swing on site. Like, it gets very serious. So you're one of the people that loves this kind of closet jokes, and you want to be risky, you want to see around people of colour, you really need to know who you're saying it to, otherwise you will get knocked out, or you will end up on the cancelled list. Like, it's as simple as that. But when one thing I want to talk about, and obviously I'm not really a pro in terms of this. I'm not really a pro in terms of this. Obviously I've still got a lot to learn in terms of what's going on. But one thing I do want to talk about is kind of what could be the result of us all coming together. Because one thing I realise that is more important, and I feel like it really gets missed out, is that in terms of Britain, I feel like for some time now, Britain has been a bit miserable, and I think that kind of applies to everyone. And I feel like the reason why this has happened is because with Britain, what has happened is, in terms of kind of the previous generations, obviously before ours, what did occur is obviously people to try and be successful in this life, they valued working up the ladder and kind of owning the material items, and it was all about kind of having the best house, having the best cars, and being in the best positions, and that's kind of the main things that they valued. And I feel like there's a lot of jobs now that are underpaid for the jobs that they do, and people are stressed. People obviously trying to achieve the best cars and best clothes, get themselves in problems, and they are very stressed trying to keep up that kind of lifestyle. And you let people who are living on the very edge still trying to buy designer and Gucci, and it really does mess them up. So I'm not saying either is exclusive to that. A lot of people have kind of followed the same plan and look for things for escape. A lot of people do drugs, and some people like a glass of wine. Like, there's a lot of things that we do to escape, and I feel like when stuff like this comes along, I think, if you want me to kind of, if you might think, I kind of disagree with him here, why is he referring to this? Think about last week when McDonald's opened. When McDonald's opened, I'm telling you now, it should never have been such a bigger story than it did. Like, that thing really trended at some point, #1 on Twitter. Things talked about. It was all over Facebook pages. The fact that we even have Facebook pages where people moan about people parking on the wrong side of the street, people moan about someone in the town centre, people moan about a glass bottle being, maybe that one's probably a bit more understandable, but people moan about the most, not stupid, but it's like on the priority of things that we could talk about on such a platform. They're literally so not, it is just the point where you just want to call it dumb. Like, it's like there's so much bigger problems in life, and you saw it when Facebook opened, when McDonald's opened, sorry, and everyone's just on about, oh yeah, oh no, the crowd in the streets, oh no, what about this delivery, oh no, why people wouldn't do this during the lockdown? And it's like, it's just, oh man, you should want to tell them, like, sure, like, if people want their McDonald's, then just let them do it. If you don't want a McDonald's, cook at home. Like, no one needs to know that you're just absolutely hard, I can't take it, how can these rich people doing it? Like, no, like, and the lockdown show is really showed like there is really there's more of a divide than we really think at the moment. Because when you have the politicians going, oh yeah, we all need to band together, and you're thinking someone who lives in, like, you're thinking you've got like some well-established person in Essex compared to like a 15-year-old boy in South London, due to like a 30-year-old struggling in like Liverpool. Like, you're thinking all these people aren't just going to magically band together with some common goals when they live completely different lives, take completely different boundaries for the over like 20 odd years or whatever in their lives. They've had completely different lives, and the fact, and obviously a lot of people break rules in legal ways, a lot of people break rules in illegal ways. But the fact people thought that like a global pandemic was going to bring everyone in the country together, regardless of circumstance, regardless of kind of what's going on in their personal lives. I almost want to call you a bit deluded. Like, I came very close to tweeting that, and I was like, Facebook and Twitter at the moment is the most toxic places on earth. Like, I do everything to avoid that. Honestly, at times, like, hopefully I do hope it will get a bit better, but at the moment, it's hard to deal with. But no, just to kind of finish off kind of points. I know I kind of have gone a bit off, and obviously it's for the first time I kind of want to do kind of a longer video to people who obviously follow me. But main point I want to get across is that we just can't separate. Like, it's not as easy as us separating. We need to get back to having a community. Why I say that is because having a community could be lit. Like, you got to think of a place like London where kind of you have hundreds of different backgrounds all together in one city, living in close proximity. It's very unlikely you'll get kind of like 4 white people living near each other. You'll have 4 black households. You'll have 4 white households. Like, it's so diverse. Like, you see it all over that place. And the weird thing about London, when you think about London, is that people don't want to talk to each other when they're there. People barely speak to each other. People are very quiet and reserved, and then get back to the house, and people love their kind of small communities, but there's no kind of larger community. I think how lit London would be if, like, everyone was just kind of out there and talkative, and everyone really wanted to connect. Like, imagine just getting to see all those different cultures. And you may have like a Romanian, you could have a guy from Zimbabwe, you could have a Jamaican, you could have Asian, you could have obviously you could have so many different kind of nationalities under one street. And imagine if they were all able to kind of they could share, they could talk to each other, you can pick up stories, you can learn things. There'd be so many great things, so many great opportunities that would come from that. And I feel like that's something that could really be representative across the country, but people need to be willing to open up a bit. Because I feel like a lot of things have gone on. Obviously, it doesn't help we're all being locked down. I feel like when we go back out, people's kind of anxiety is going to be kind of off scale to talk to each other. We've literally been talking to, in part, unless you want to speak to people, we've basically been speaking to our family and our close friends the past like 3-4 months. So the fact when society opens back up and we have a chance to speak to random people, some people will thrive in that environment, and some people want to kind of die away in that environment, and that's just going to be the way it is. And it's pretty wild. And like I say, I don't have all the answers. And like I say, obviously, I do support the movement. I do want to go to kind of the next protest that is available. I was working last time. I hope kind of what I said doesn't get me cancelled. What I obviously wanted to say, and obviously if I do get cancelled, just let you know, I have about 5 friends. Don't particularly like my job, so if you get me to leave from there, I don't really care. I'll still try my way to be successful, so don't think that's kind of the way to get rid of me. And like I say, I will always be back and have more kind of conversations like this, and hopefully able to structure it a bit better. I was going to get to the point where I was going to script it all out and have it layered and have it like in a perfect format. I was like, nah, I will never get this kind of video done. Like, look at how many things I tried to run through in this time. Like, you were never going to get me to sit down and write that all out and actually get around to making the video. By the time I talked about it, it could have been irrelevant. Like, because there's so much going on in my life, man. Like, honestly, the idea of sitting down and replanning a video for 3-4 days and it just isn't me. Maybe I'll get to a point where if I focus on YouTube more, like kind of full time, I'll get to a point where I'm able to do that. But that's not what I want to do. But obviously, you want to kind of, and obviously I feel like I kind of touched everything a bit kind of in short, I want to learn things in more detail. Like I said, I will want to put out more videos based around what I've talked about. This kind of said a bit of a conversation starter, and obviously from what I said, I know I will kind of start a lot of conversations. So I'm interested here. Like I say, in terms obviously what we're still learning, say Black Lives Matter, kind of still learning about everything. So obviously I'm happy to have conversations. I've kind of been looking at the idea of starting kind of podcasts or kind of conversations over things like Zoom. So that is something that I'm looking into. And like I say, I just have so many ideas of kind of what I want to do. going forward. And obviously, a lot of my ideas were focused about me. It's going to be more focused around this because, to me, this really does take precedent over a lot of things that are going on right now. So no, this deserves our attention. There to be talked about. But yeah, let me know kind of what you think. Like I'm thinking as well. Obviously, when we talk about kind of the lockdown, kind of that was already going to be a video. That had to be a video. Like there's so many things to talk about with this lockdown. It is mad. There's so many different points of view. Kind of what you think should it still be a thing? Kind of obviously the way people have kind of talked about the NHS and stuff, and obviously the clapping and kind of breaking the rule. Like there's so many talking points, honestly, and that could be its own kind of long talk as well. I don't even know if my camera's still recording at this point. I really hope it is. I kind of want to do it talk for any longer, just in case it runs out. But yeah, I'm not really asking to kind of get too much kind of out there. I don't need likes or subscribe. It's just good to kind of have a general conversation and just keep it going in the comment section. But yeah, no. Just to kind of think as well, one thing we kind of celebrate as well, I feel I touched on it just before I do go, you need to think about how kind of the good, as I said, I think I said it a bit before, kind of good things obviously, like we love broad society, you gotta think kind of things that would not be here if it weren't for us. So obviously you have kind of, I think kind of up to recently, you have kind of Dave and Stormzy leading the way for UK urban music. We have kind of dancehall, reggae that has come very popular over here. Kind of in terms of Caribbeans, like Caribbean food as well is taken off. Like there's obviously some people that come around to my house younger had some Caribbean food, and the Caribbean food like shoppers for life, like they will love to go around and they'll be like, oh, I can't wait to have some jerk chicken or something like that. Like mate, you don't believe it, but like honestly, people will get hooked on that stuff. Like it is brilliant, and I'm always proud of it. Like I say, I want to try a lot. I want to go around the world. There's just too many things that I could honestly go on about in this video, and that's why I feel like, because I know inevitably there's holes in my argument. I'm always trying to think of the rebuttals in my head, but there is honestly just too much to talk about with this topic. And I feel like I could really go on for 3 hours, but I don't think my camera could allow me to. So I'm going to hop off. Hope you guys have enjoyed kind of the first kind of talk in this. I guess it's like a 3-part subject, and I'll probably have to narrow it down in the next couple of episodes. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. It's been your boy Lyndon, and I'll catch you later.